Before I start this video, I just want to let you guys know that I finally made a Twitter account. I also have a Facebook account. I plan to post a lot of paranormal stories in the future, not just my own videos. If you'd like to follow me, I put a link to my Twitter and my Facebook in the description. Also, one of my subs, Ken, made me, or this channel, a pretty awesome t-shirt design. I also brought back my classic PJ sweaters as well. The link to those will also be in the description for those who are interested. Now today, what I want to cover is over the past couple of months, there have been quite a few flying humanoid sightings. I know a lot of people think that these are just balloons or kites, but some of these sightings are a lot harder to explain, especially the mass sightings that happened in Mexico in the early 2000s, which I will cover later in this video. A few weeks ago, a family was sitting in their backyard in Arizona when they saw a black object in the sky, and as they were looking wondering what this object was, they noticed that it looked like it had wings. To them, it kind of looked like a giant bumblebee. Now this object was just so odd looking that they got out their phones and started to record it. And it does look like it's just hovering there. Now this object was seen by many others and no one knew exactly what it was, and this really freaked them out. Then a couple hours later, there was another sighting of a flying humanoid in Arizona, making many believe that this was the same one. Now on this very same day, March 22nd, hundreds of miles away in Boston, there was another mass sighting. One of the eyewitnesses stated, "The object flew parallel to our heads. I would say no further than the length of a football field away from us. I saw that it was about the size of a helicopter, if not larger, but couldn't tell exactly what it was. That is why I took out my camera and started to film. By the time I got out my phone, the object had already begun accelerating away from us. While it may appear to be hovering in the video, it is actually traveling forward at a great deal of speed. I could see the shape of the structure clearly and could see the shape black orbed and what appeared to be a caterpillar-like tail. As I stated, the craft did come close enough to us that I could distinguish only two things. One, there was no visible human controlling the device. And two, I had never seen anything like this before." Now I found these two clips to be interesting and similar to some of my previous videos about flying humanoids. I also find it interesting that they happened on the exact same day. Now these flying humanoid sightings that are seen all the time now first started in Mexico in the early 2000s. And some of these sightings, well, they're just crazy. One of the first reported sightings happened when a man in Salvador looked up in the sky and saw something strange, something he had never seen before. So he got out his camera, and when he zoomed in, he saw what appeared to be a flying human just hovering there. Now Salvador filmed this for as long as he could. He had no idea what he was actually seeing. All he knew is that it looked like there was a human flying in the sky, and this really freaked him out. Then again that very same year, there was another sighting, but the guy Armando who filmed it did not want to come forward because he felt what he filmed was just too crazy. But when Salvador came out with his footage, he did as well. Armando stated that one day he was on his roof when he saw a dark object approaching him. And when it got close enough, he realized that this thing looked like a little man, and Armando was now freaking out. Then again in Mexico that very same year, another man saw a strange flying humanoid that was just floating in the sky, and then it descended slowly behind the mountains. Now since these three men all kind of knew each other, they were what they call skywatchers in Mexico, made me a little bit suspicious. But in October of that year, a pilot claimed to have seen what he described as a little flying man who was flying at the same altitude as the plane at the time. And at one point, he and even the co-pilot could see its arms and legs. Interesting indeed. Then another sighting happened not too long after, by a woman, Anna. At first, Anna thought that it was a helicopter because whatever this was appeared to be vibrating. But she and two other witnesses realized this was no helicopter, it looked like a flying human. Then a smaller object with what appeared to be wings approached this flying human, and they came together like a transformer, and these eyewitnesses were amazed. They just stared in awe. They'd never seen anything like this before. Another interesting but creepy sighting happened in 2005 when a father and his daughter saw a dark, tall humanoid just floating in midair. And this humanoid was looking right at them with an evil look on his face. The father also noticed that this humanoid seemed to have some sort of device attached to its waist, and thankfully they had proof of what they saw. Then we also have the Mexican police officer incident, which I have covered before. One night a police officer was doing his rounds when he encountered what he believed to be a witch, and this witch attacked him, making him crash his car, and then he passed out. And this sighting did create a little bit of mass hysteria in Mexico, as people were now constantly looking up in the sky, trying to get a glimpse of this witch. Now, some people think that these sightings are proof of witches, the Mothman, or aliens, but whatever it is definitely some sort of humanoid. And I do think that some of these sightings over the years can easily be explained by hoaxers with one big human-looking balloon. But others, especially the ones that happened in Mexico in the early 2000s, are not so easily explained, especially considering eyewitnesses have sworn that they made eye contact with it, making me believe that something paranormal must be going on here, at least in some of these sightings. Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.